Hello everyone and welcome back to the Triple Crown Wargaming studio, where you join us once again for another exciting, enthralling and fantastic instalment of this month in Warhammer.
He was reading a dictionary before.
I'm really enjoying that thesaurus toilet paper you guys got me. Cheers lads. Where I, James the Lawmaster Lamin, talk at you for approximately an hour about nonsense, along with my two favouriteest colleagues, because we don't actually have any more, Scott the Duke McHugh.
Hello.
And Max the Chieftain Hurley.
I'm back.
Oh yeah, you weren't here last
By popular demand.
I'm back. Bigger than ever.
That petition reached a whole 4 signatures.
You guys are the real ones.
Hashtag where's Max gone was not trending.
Sadly.
So get ready, guys, for our usual roundtable discussion on all aspects of the hobby, from the serious to the silly. Scott can be silly today. We'll start out by having a look at sort of new hobby releases before moving on to the month in our hobby. All the social media stuff, anything that could be described as Warhammer news. We clutch for that sometimes. And we're going to have a chat today about Warhammer Total War 3 and Scott's dangerous addiction to playing it.
Nice.
You just don't have the time management skills that I do in order to play it.
I don't have the laptop to play.
I have the sleep management skills that Scott doesn't have. And then, as ever, we'll finish up by telling you what you can expect to find on the website and on YouTube for the next 4 weeks. So, shall we dive into some releases?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Now, I'm going to caveat today's new release section by saying we filmed this video before Games Workshop's price rise. When you see this video, the price rise will have happened.
Yes.
So in a very real sense, the prices I describe are not going to be correct.
The price is not right.
It's not. You would have thought though the new.
These are not new enough. They're not new enough. I don't think. I don't know. It might be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm gonna say no.
We don't know is the short answer.
Yeah.
So anything we sort of describe G-Dub price wise, it might stay that price because, as you just astutely pointed out,
It might be new enough that they've already sort of
factored
incorporated
it in.
the price rise in.
But it might not, I'm afraid. So, that said, we'll dive straight in with some Warcry boxes, which are the real kind of big chunk of things that was released in the last 4 weeks. Now, they've done 4 or 5 different ones. I think it's 4. I've got 4 written down here. Let's say 4.
Let's go with 4.
Let's go with 4. Now, the Daughters of Cain one is the one that I think, and I think we probably agreed when we had a little chat through it.
Have the most sort of use.
Going to be the one that you guys would use.
Yeah.
So Dark Elf players, prick up your ears. You get 10 Witch Elves in there, and you get 5 of the Melusai Blood Sisters, which are the sort of Medusa-looking ladies.
The snake ladies.
Sort of,
Yeah.
half snake, half elf.
That's it, yeah. So that's £50 the box as of this video filming, and so you're saving £17.50 on buying
The boxes
the
separately.
boxes separately because the witches are 35, so you're paying £15 for the second box, which is $32.50 normally.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, the maths adds up. It would be 32. It would be 30, 50.
It is, and it is. The positive with it is the witches can obviously be built 2 ways. Because they remain being the witch box, they can still be the...
Depends, because Scott found out that the old Hex Rags don't have the Black Knight.
Yes, yeah, I did find that out. Yeah, in the Soulblight Gravelords Start Collecting box with the Graveguard, the Black Knights, and then the new White King. They don't come with the instructions to build them as hex raid.
So you might be able to. So you might have to just eyeball building a Sister of Slaughter.
I think on the actual pictures on the website, they've got 5 built as witches and 5 built as Sisters of Slaughter. So I imagine
I would suggest
they'll have the instructions. But let us know if you buy one.
Yeah.
But you know the Melusai Blood Sisters, I've seen them used by quite a few people for different things. I've actually seen them used as Dark Riders, which I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Long enough on a cavalry base, I'd be happy enough.
Yeah, I think they're obviously very good Blood Rack Medusas.
Yeah, which unfortunately they're not very good.
They're a cheap plus, and and I think again, if I was doing a really heavily kind of Cainite themed army, I'd maybe think about having them as like unit fillers and things. I just think you could do something cool with them like that. But The other boxes, as I said, honestly, a lot less useful. I'll touch briefly on what they've got in them. They're all around the same price. There is an extra one. It's a Stormcast one, and I haven't put it on here because we don't do Stormcast.
We don't.
Because they have no place in the world of Warhammer.
Or the Force of Warriors get us at a push, but I am clutching.
You are clutching.
You are clutching.
And there's a door over there. So there's an Orc one, which comes with some crossbow Orcs and some fighty Orcs. At a real stretch there, you could possibly try and use the crossbow ones as arrow boys, but I think it's
They are too big.
I just don't think it works, so I've got to be honest. I think you want them to be distinctly defined with the correct weapon.
They don't work, and arrow boys just don't work.
The Lumineth one, there's one for the Lumineth Realm Lords. That's got 5 spear elves, 5 archers, and 5 guys with the big hammers. Again,
Fives
are terrible unit size. Yeah. And then there's the one for the Slanesh Warriors, which we are big fans of using in fantasy battles, but you get 5 of the kind of the Myrmidesh Warriors.
Yeah, which you're using as
Chaos Warriors. Yeah, because Chaos Warriors are Slanesh, they're pretty much perfect. And 10 of the kind of archers, which are the Blissbarb archers, I think they're called. And I've got 20 of those myself, and they really don't have a lot of use, unfortunately.
Because they're quite big, aren't they?
No, actually, conversely, they're quite small.
Are they small enough to be like an Ungor?
That's true.
No, Ungor are tiny.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're smaller than a Marauder. They're really
so possibly
thin.
Then
you could possibly stretch them to
so it's like Slanesh Ungor.
That is a great shout, Scott. So maybe I need to do some sort of Legion of Chaos list.
Maybe you need to start Beastman Army.
Dangerous. Yeah. We're not going to be doing that, are we?
I did. I took that bullet.
So that's it. Yeah. So there's some savings to be had there. If you've got other cool hobby ideas, worth checking those boxes out. You will save money on them. So moving on from Games Workshop for a minute, because it's in an interesting order. And I'm going to mention the Army Painter Speed Paints. Now, currently, the starter set for these guys, for these paints is available to buy, and it's £34 RRP. Although I must say I've not found it at £34 anywhere. It has been 28 to 31 everywhere I've seen it. If you know what I mean.
Sort of 10 to 20% off.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And it has 10 paints and a brush in it. Now these are the full set, if you like. So all of the colours they're going to be releasing in this speed paint range is out on the 18th of March. I'm reliably informed, and is £76 RRP. For 24 paints, so much better value in the first box as well. Yeah. Not that the first box is particularly bad value. Really.
No, I think 76.
10 paints and a brush for £30, there or thereabouts.
Yeah,
£76 is better.
Yeah, that is really good. Yeah. So they also all come loaded with steel mixing ball bearings as well.
That's very good because you bought them recently.
I've got really into them. Yeah, I think they're ace for metallics in particular.
And how much did you pay for your pack of those?
£6 or £7 for 100.
I mean, yeah.
So you're getting probably 50 in there because you should put 2 in each.
Another £3. Yeah.
Yeah, you're saving some money, so that's good. Now these are effectively Army Painter's answer to Contrast.
Yeah. We have used extensively.
You guys are massive Contrast fans.
Yeah.
I've used them.
I am a big fan. I'll certainly be trying these out. I don't know if I'll pick up the starter set or if you can buy them separately.
You can. Yeah, I've got that on here.
I might pick up one. Try it and see sort of how it comes out.
They are all going to be available separately.
No, just go to whole hog and buy the £76. Just a whole hog.
I will, if I like them though, I will go for that because I saw a sort of a YouTube video that was sort of reviewing them, and there are a big variety of colours.
Yeah.
Big variety. So I think it will be useful if you like them, if you like the style of using them and how they sort of come out. I definitely think it's worth picking up the full set when it comes out.
It's worth saying we are not a paid promotion with Army Painter.
No.
There are people that are though.
This is not a hashtag ad.
No, it's not. But there are people that are, and as you astutely pointed out, we've all watched that same video, haven't we? Because I think I saw it and sent it to you guys and was like, these look like they'd be right up our alleys. But check those videos out. They really do seem interesting. Yeah. I wish I could remember the name of the gentleman.
Yeah, I can't remember. But if you just go onto YouTube, put in Army Painter Speed Paint Review, something like that, it'll probably come up. I think it's about 15-20 minutes long.
Yeah, I've seen a couple where they were a bit harsh on them. I've seen a couple where they loved them. I've watched 3 or 4 now. So I think that they're going to be...
They're going to be very much like Contrast. They're going to work for some people, they're not going to work for other people.
Depends on your style of painting.
It really does depend on your style, which is why I'm going to pick one up, try it on a few sort of old models, bits of sprue, scenery, anything really that's got a bit of sort of different texture, see how it comes out if I like it, before going the whole hog and chucking £70 on it.
Yeah, so it's worth checking out. I know lots of guys that we play Warhammer with regularly are huge Army Paint fans anyway.
Yeah.
So they're probably gonna. These are definitely right up the street. If you're playing 8th edition Warhammer, you know you're gonna have figures.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you've got models.
Yeah.
I mean, the Empire I've been playing around with the last few weeks, 90 models. So you've got a lot of figures, and
that's a unit if you play Skaven.
These are for painting armies at the end of the day, aren't they? I think it's probably fair to say. So check them out.
As contrasts are, really.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So we're an equal opportunities channel over here. If you produce stuff that will be good for Warhammer players, we'll try to tell people about it.
Big you up.
Moving back to models for a minute. Forge World Blood Bowl is becoming a regular section on models that get released. Forge World Blood Bowl.
Some nice Blood Bowl models.
So this month they have released a couple of star players, which are Fungus the Loon and Bomber Dribblesnot. Now
I imagine they're goblins.
They are. No, in fact, they are Men of the Empire. No, they are goblins.
Who's been hit too many times.
Yes. And one of them's got a very large... One of them would be actually quite a cool fanatic. He's got an absolutely humongous ball and chain. And the other one is like a sort of explosives expert. It's like a demo expert, if you like.
I actually remember these characters in the actual video game itself. I was sitting around Bomber Dribblesnot.
Yeah, so... Fanatic. I've got here fanatics, goblin characters, unit fillers. They're all cool. They're just cool hobby things to have a look at and check out. And I think that they really appeal to Orcs and Goblins players because that's the sort of thing you like, isn't it? That fun kind of silly element. That's
erring towards the silly rather than the serious.
Yeah,
as all goblins do.
And finally, on releases for this month is the book Witch Hunter by C.L. Werner. Now this is Black Libraries do like a reader's choice for their annual celebration, and this one was this year's reader's choice for the Warhammer. I want to say Chronicles. I think that's what they're calling it, Warhammer Chronicles, like the sort of old world stories. Yeah, I think so set in the old world. Has obviously received really positive reviews consistently because it was chosen as the book to be re-released. $7.99 from Black Library Direct.
Not a bad price.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, my recent experiences of Witch Hunter has just put me in a negative light with this, but...
More on that later. I will say this, though. C.L. Werner, I think he writes really good classic Warhammer.
He did the Bounty Hunter ones, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But he did another Witch Hunter series as well. This is about Thymus something, I think.
Thymus Goldman? No, that's a Law and Magic guy.
He did another series like this, but he also wrote Dead Winter was his, which was like when the Red Pox attacks the Empire and stuff like that, with Boris Goldgatherer and all that stuff. And honestly, his writings in that setting, I really enjoy. I think he conveys the kind of the fantastical with the mundane very well.
The magic and the mundane.
The magic and the mundane, if you will. So,
Hashtag plug.
I really enjoy his books, and I haven't actually read that one, but I'm sure it will be good. So check it out. Let us know if you read it. Let us know if it's as exciting as blowing Max's BSB with a Witch Hunter. 55-point Witch Hunter in 2 consecutive games.
Twice!
Ridiculous.
Him on 6s.
Oh, I love it.
You love him, or you love how much it winds me up?
He's got wall save as well. That was the best part. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. So, shall we move on to...
I think Max might explode if we don't.
To the month in our hobby. So, Max, what have you been working on?
Painting that BSB.
Getting annoying. Painting that BSB with a massive hole in his head.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, no, my hobby. Yeah, what is mine doing?
I don't know, it's your hobby.
Chaos Dwarves, that's what I'm doing, the painting Chaos Dwarves. We did that poll about a month or two back now, so it was quite a while.
It was a while ago now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was.
I think Chaos Dwarves managed to pull out by one. By one singular vote.
So you're taking them to the Home Firth event?
I am taking to the King of the North, or the North Remembers. I mean, it's the North Remembers.
The North Remembers.
It's the North Remembers. Yeah. The King of the North is the award.
It is, yes.
If you win it. But no, so I'm taking Chaos Dwarves. So I finished painting yesterday the unit of Chaos Dwarves.
How many is that?
34.
A lot.
34 Chaos Dwarves, because you got two core choices, Chaos Dwarves or Hobgoblins.
Yeah,
So you're going to be taking Chaos Dwarves.
That's a very, very fair point.
So I've got them painted up there. They're all done. All I think's got to be left is a bit of varnish on them, because I've grown attached, quite fond of varnishing my models. Certainly on some bits, and it does look quite nice.
Do you go for a matte or sort of glossy on the metal?
The metal, so they're basically red and gold.
Yeah.
The red metal is gloss. The
Right.
gold is washed.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it sort of flattens.
So the gold is like a burnished bronzy gold.
Yeah.
And the red is sort of like a metallic sheen to it.
Okay.
Like, I know a lot of people go like black and silvers for
Yeah.
the stores. I go for like a very fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a metallic red, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of finish.
It's Blood Angels contrast red over lead belcher spray.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be quite cold as well. I've not really looked at them properly yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing
Look at them, and then next up on there is probably going to be said BSB. And
Dead BSB, sorry.
and then we've got a Demon Smith I've got going on, and then 10 tons of Hobgoblins.
And two could I, don't forget those.
Those spoilers, come on now! That's for later discussions.
2 Kadai Fireball. Why would you take 2 Kadai Fireball?
They got minimum units of 3.
Well, you played it one.
2 units of Godiah Fireball in the air, that's what I'm taking. But yeah, so they're on the paint station. I've got, at the time of recording, 8 months to get it all done.
Yeah, it's going to be less than that. So it's the 2nd and 3rd of April?
Yes, the first
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I am. But yeah, so that's what apart from that, I've not bought
Not bought anything?
I bought stuff for non-fantasy.
Okay.
I bought if anyone's interested, I bought the Silent King for Necrons.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't count. He's a lovely model.
It's not fancy
It's
though.
not fantasy though.
Doesn't
That's the
count,
thing.
doesn't
No, I was very, very, very close to buying a Skaven army.
Yeah, he was actually. I was like, I'm going to do this order. Does anyone want anything? Max is like, I might want some Skaven kits. I was like, okay, let me know, mate.
Yeah, so
But
his
his Skaven requests were not forthcoming.
They were not.
you see, I want.
He scurried away from that if you
Oh!
But to be honest, I might want to increase my demons at some point as well, because I got my Zinch demons. You
Yeah.
got your Nurgles.
It'd be good to get them.
Well,
down
I've got
on
some
the channel.
Sinesh as well.
Yeah, James wants to do Corn demons because we told him we want to do Corn demons.
Yeah.
James does not want to do Corn Demons.
James
But-
is doing Corn Demons.
James doing Corn demons. I'm doing. This is back then when we were playing when the pandemic was going on. We were locked down.
Yeah.
We decided to do a Chaos Demon army.
Everyone does a demon army.
Scott immediately just started saying, I'm going Nurgle.
Yep.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Not me.
James was coalesced into picking Corn, which was the only one left.
Yeah, because your brother took Slanesh.
Yeah.
I took Zinch because they are like rubbish. And then James got.
Oh yeah, Corn. They're really tearing up the meta game.
At least you've got Kairos.
Yeah.
You got Scarbrand?
Okay.
But
Max,
yeah.
what's the plan for next month, mate?
Zinch.
So, Corn Demon army.
Yo, I do love Corn Demons. I do honestly love them. So maybe I might actually start increasing my demons again. I might pick them up because
Oh.
Warriors Chaos I've put to
It's
the
a
side.
sickness. It's a sickness.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is.
I put my Warriors to the side for about. I've said I put my Warriors to the side for about a year or so because I use them extensively for like the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got very tired of them. It's the same play.
It's nice to play something different.
Yeah,
isn't
so Chaos Dwarves are the main bit, and I'm possibly going to start expanding my demons at this point because
it? And the
Beastmen are
Skaven army.
and Skaven army. My Beastmen are in a relatively good place.
Yeah.
They've got some Minotaurs in there I need to paint up.
Mm.
Sorry, I also got the Ogroid Myrmidon as well.
Oh
There
yeah.
you got it for me.
Yeah.
So
Belated birthday present.
Yeah, it was late birthday present. He got me the Ogroid Myrmidon. I think it's called Myrmidon anyway. It's the Minotaur guy with a shield and spear.
Yeah. From War.
War?
Spartan Minotaur, as I'm calling it.
Spartan
Yeah.
Minotaur.
He's basically Spartan shield, but no, he's going to be for the event. He's going to be my package
Yep.
for the North Remembers event.
So you have to make a package.
You have
If
to
you've
make a
not seen the
package.
pack, it's like a 40 or 50 mil base, depending
Yeah.
on what it is. It's got rules, and there's one of the missions where you have to sort of keep it alive.
Yeah,
basically.
he's going to be my package, and then outside of that event, he's going to be a Gorbel. My
Yeah.
Minotaur, so he's going to be a Minotaur hero.
Makes
So
sense.
I own a Doomball, which I need to. Do I own a Doomball? I think I own a Doomball. If I don't, I'll soon own a Doomball.
I think I've seen a Doomball.
I think I have seen a Doomball. He might be missing his weapon. I'm not entirely sure. But no, I got the Ogre Myrmidon, which is quite nice. Thanks, mate.
Oh, you're alright, man. I've got your back.
Apart from that, nothing much else. Yeah.
Apart from painting 30 odd cast walls.
That's
No,
that's
no.
a decent
Yeah.
order, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And for me,
Yeah.
that's an achievement.
Yeah.
What about you, Scott? What have you been working on?
So I've been working on my army for the North Remembers, which is Vampire Counts.
Desperately, we're all trying to get North Remember stuff ready.
Yeah, lots of Vampire Counts.
think I'm in the worst place for
painted
that
up painted up 2 Vargulfs,
Ooh.
unit of Vargeists, some Hex Wraiths, unit filler for my zombies, which is like a Growleek for the Bretonnians, with the peasants sort of chained to it, in a sort of like a mockery of an actual Growleek. Have I made anything else for that?
Manfred?
No, don't be silly. I think that's all I've painted. And some direwolves. I've painted probably about 20 direwolves as well.
Shall we just give
So
you your list?
I've been building direwolves as well. I've been building Hexwraiths. I've been building Vargeists, which I then painted. Lots of vampires. Pretty much exclusively vampires. Yeah.
Many purchases.
Some bits for the vampires. I've purchased some more direwolves.
Just vampires and
Just
vampires, more vampires.
Stole them from me.
But no, I think that's... Yeah, I don't think I've bought anything else. Not off the top of my head.
You're using the new direwolves, aren't you, as well?
Oh, I've got 10 of them, yeah. I'm also
10?
using Fenrisian wolves.
Yeah.
Ah,
I really like those new direwolves.
I do like them, but I prefer the Fenrisian wolves, if I'm honest. The new direwolves just seem a bit too small. They're weirdly one of the newer vampire sort of undead kits for Age of Sigmar that's got smaller and not bigger. Everything else seems to have got bigger.
But I think they look
Skeletons,
ace on a cavalry base because of that. They look really
they
well
do look
scaled.
nice. They do look really nice.
The death rattle skeletons and zombies
Yeah.
are now bigger, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are, yeah. But
Hero scale.
the direwolves are very nice though. I will say that they've got a nice amount of detail. Not too much on something that you're probably going to have quite a lot of. So you don't want loads of detail, but they've got enough that they don't just look plain.
Have you got enough to summon? Because that is a concern.
No, he definitely doesn't have enough to summon.
James has enough to summon.
I'm hoping someone just kills my dogs before I can then raise the other units.
I'm going to be honest, mate. I'm hoping I just kill all of it if I have to fight it
I want
before
someone,
you can win the game.
I want someone to let them just grow and then kill Manfred and then just let it all crumble to death.
Rude.
It's really rough, mate.
Rude. What about you?
You go, I snap the fingers.
He's there. What's your plan for next month before you do me?
Vampires. Getting the
And
vampires.
scenery.
And scenery. Although that'll probably be next month, like this month.
It's going to be
It's
like
4
right
weeks
on
till
the
the
right
event.
on the border,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we sadly plan out massive amounts of our lives around
Yeah,
getting
because
this done.
I do have a couple of weeks off work after the event, so I'll be using that to paint scenery. But yeah, that is what I've been working on. What about yourself? Is it just North Remember stuff? Oh, it isn't actually, because yours is all painted, isn't it?
No, it's not.
No. I like the fact that there was a few. So you guys won't know this. We have we've got like a gaming club chat, and in the gaming club chat, people were talking about what they've got to do, and I was like, I'm really worried. I've got nothing done this week, just gone for us. For my North Remembers army, Scott's like, I don't know why, yours is all painted. I'm like, it definitely isn't all painted.
It's more painted. More painted than mine
It's
is.
more painted, but not all painted. So I have been working on Empire, which you will have seen on battle reports very recently.
Yeah.
Big boy, big down.
And
Yeah.
I've decided to take them to North Remembers as well, because it's probably not a great shock if I say I'm working on my North Remembers army and I'm painting Empire to work out what I might be taking. So I am taking Empire to that.
And if you've seen Carl Franz, you know he's not in that army list.
My gut, my hope is that I've played more than like 7 games with Empire before we get there.
You're
I
close
think
to
you've
it.
already played that, haven't you?
No, I don't think so. I've
You
played.
played me 3
I've played
times.
5 with my North Remembers army and 1 on
Okay.
the channel, so 6. So,
Alright.
yeah. Oh yeah, I should reach 7.
Yeah.
You've got
Easily.
4 weeks.
I basically never played with them before, like 4 weeks ago. So we're all doing really well on that. But that seems like a sensible thing to take to a GT, right? Something
Totally.
you've never used in your life.
Yeah.
So
Me and Joe using armies that we'd never used before in a tournament. Scott's just crutching on vampires.
Whoa! I could have crushed on demons.
yeah, you could have.
Yeah, you could
You
have. But Joyce, you
I'm
would
doing
have
everyone a favour.
taken a hefty comp for
Yeah,
that
I
thing.
would
wouldn't
have.
you?
Yeah.
That's a big old comp.
So I was furiously basing a lot of stuff, which you will have seen on the Big Boy Beatdown. That was a lot of time spent. But I have painted in addition to some of the things on the Big Boy. So I painted the crew for that cannon that we used on the Big Boy Beatdown. I painted Carl Franz, yeah, which I think I'd already done actually, but before the last episode,
finished up.
yeah, I just sort of did the basing on a lot of that stuff.
Stank.
Great. So no, I didn't do the stank.
No,
No,
you
that
didn't.
was the guys at Warpaint Mini that did the steam tank for us. So that was really cool.
Some great swords.
Great swords. Yeah, I've painted
Yeah.
quite a lot of great swords. I've got 4 to go. Out of what I needed, and I think I've already painted 10 or 12. So
Yeah.
You did the Pope.
it's growing. I did do my Arch Lector, which I used as a warrior priest in the battle report.
Yeah.
And I've now painted his war altar. It only took me like 6 days of all my spare time.
And you've had it for how long?
Oh yeah, like 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. When did the book come out? 2013. I think I bought it when the book came out.
2014.
I bought it when they released it.
Yeah,
I don't think
2014.
it was 14. I think it was 13.
I have the White Dwarf at home. I think I remember saying March 2014.
Okay, well, whenever that came out,
Someone let us know.
When I bought it, it sat in a box until about 5 weeks ago. So yeah, I painted my war altar.
Couple of nights.
Tarted up some nights.
I did a couple of extra nights, yeah, because we
Yeah.
had 10 done by Warpaint Mini,
And
12.
used 12, yeah.
So yeah, so I did a couple of extra nights. I've done what I always do. I can't leave well alone when someone puts something in front of me. I've added some extra little ribbons and colour bits and things to models as well, which is a sickness, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sickness. I do that to models I painted like years ago. I'll drag them out and be like, I could do this to that now. And everyone's like, seriously, it's painted, leave it alone. Is the pile of shame not big enough? And it is.
It is. It always is.
Here I am being called out for having to buy too much stuff. Like, come on, you have a sickness yourself.
Yeah, you've seen the cupboard, haven't you?
I've seen the
It's
colours.
very unwell, it's not even all in there.
I look at it and go, that's the dream.
Yeah, it really isn't, ladies and
That's the
gentlemen.
dream.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. I've done like some banners for my demigryphs and
Yep.
things like that. Just adding like sort of lots of freehand and details and
And your
stuff.
halberdiers banner as well?
I did my Halberdiers
Yeah.
banner, yeah, which again we used in the battle report. So yeah, I'm getting there. I've got 4 great swords to paint. I've got a Celestial Hurricanum to paint,
Yeah, that's the big one. That is the big one.
and that I'm really worried about.
But that is all you've got to paint, isn't it?
No. I've got to paint my package as well,
Oh, okay.
which is Marco.
Right.
My package is Marco Colombo. Very cool.
My package is 4 ghouls holding a...
A coffin.
A coffin.
It's well good. Yeah, so mine's Marco Colombo with his like crates of gold, which I'm quite pleased with.
And the codpiece of the
And
ages.
the codpiece of the ages. I've got to paint my package, and I've just got like I've got to do like some more freehand banners and stuff. I've got lots of plain banners that need to kind of have some work done on them.
zhuzhing.
Oh, I did a load of archers as well. I don't
Yeah.
know whether they were sort of pre the last video or this one. If you're watching and you hear me saying the same things I've painted, I'm just
He hasn't
trying to-
painted 2 lots of them. He's just trying to make it sound like he's painted
No,
more
in the
stuff.
last 4 weeks, I've had 2 weeks where I've got a ton of hobby done, and 2 weeks where I was absolutely off my feet and that I didn't get any done. So I'm just trying to remember sort of what structured when. But
You
yeah,
also didn't do any yesterday because it was James's birthday
it was
yesterday.
my birthday.
It was.
As a film.
Some of you sent me messages as well. It's really nice. Thank you. That was lovely.
Why'd you do that?
I was really really chuffed. I was like, oh, that's really nice. Cheers.
His ego's inflated enough.
We got a
Not an ego
particularly...
thing. It was nice. It was nice.
We got
Stop it.
a particularly good pun as well from Jane, one of our
Oh, yeah, we
subscribers,
did.
good friend of ours, which was wishing you a happy birthday with a picture of some Dark Elf witches, which
Yeah.
I did enjoy.
Which I imagine was just trying to give me some sort of battlefield trauma. Because, like, who likes fighting witches?
I'm assuming this is the group chat that I'm a part of, but no, I don't actually get the messages.
That one.
No,
yeah, that
everyone's unimpressed with you there.
Yeah.
I have purchased lots of hobby things, boring stuff, like tufts and like basing-y things and paints and
not good
brushes. I've spent
Mixing balls.
a
Still
fortune
mixing
mixing balls, yeah. Thinners and things like
Yeah.
that, like varnishes, like all stuff that is like you spend a fortune, but it's really dry.
It's not good enough.
And I bought some stuff like Max for maybe another game system because it was there at a really good price, and I thought, oh yeah, go on then.
You bought the everyone's entry. You bought that. What was it? Prophecy or something?
I got the elder half of the Eldritch Omens.
Yeah, Elder
There you go.
Times.
If you're interesting, if you're interesting, you probably are interesting. I'm not. But it's in a cupboard, sealed.
It's not. being
And we'll
built.
sit there for the next 6 or 7 years.
I don't see when at the moment it will even leave the cupboard. So
I'll just build mine out. Fine, I'll build it for you.
next month for me, I've got to get the last bits of my empire ready for North Remembers,
Yep.
and then a bit like you, I'll probably have to start thinking about terrain. A lot of my hobby time next month is going to be spent formatting some stuff actually for the channel that we'll talk about later as well, which seems like it's not sort of directly brushes, but it will be all of my spare time, which is what my hobby time is. So moving on, social media. We'll timestamp this so you don't have to hear our noise if you want. I don't know if we've had some. I don't think we've had a lot actually this month. It's not often I say that.
No.
There's some nice comments asking where I was.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That's quite nice.
Do you want to tell everyone at home?
Block them from the channel. We didn't need those people.
Do you want to tell the 4 people that signed a petition to get you back? You've not been very well.
No, well,
It's just no commitment.
I was just about to say these guys say it's commitment issues. No, one of the weekends I was away, so that was a commitment issue.
Just no commitment. Wasn't a commitment issue.
You are allowed like a holiday and a break.
So I was away,
No,
and then the week after that, the last this month of war, I mean, I had a medical issue.
You were not well.
I had kidney stones. And it was not
hilarious.
It was not nice.
It was not hilarious. I rocked up to Max's to pick him up, and there's like
There's an ambulance.
ambulances and all that.
Jay was outside my house, at the front of my house, and then I think Jay might have heard me in the house going, "Ah!"
Yeah, he was not well, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I was
so
quite worried about him.
I spent a day in hospital that weekend, so
No
it was
commitment.
not good. Yeah, all right, man. My kidneys decided, you know what, we're going to give up.
You know you can discharge yourself from hospital, right?
We did offer
They
to
can't get you there.
Zoom him in.
I mean, I was also.
Other online meeting software is available.
I would
not
not,
as good, though.
I would not be in dress because I was in my pyjamas the entire time I was in the hospital. The Call of Duty pyjamas my mum got for me for Christmas.
Whoa. You mean your pyjamas are not Triple Crown Wargaming pyjamas?
Not yet. But no, so I was in my pyjamas.
We don't do pyjamas.
That's. I appreciate you guys asking where I was. It was quite so that's what was going on, mate.
You're feeling better.
I'm feeling much better. I tried to change my diet a little bit to avoid it. Not successfully, might I add, but it's I'm alright.
You're back here. You've got through the commitment issues, and you're here now. You're sure you're going to be here for the channel.
Yeah.
You just can't deal with these people, can you? It's unbelievable.
I want to point out that I'm still the only person who's never missed a video.
Because it's in your dad's house.
He's not wrong.
You aren't wrong. The studio is in my dad's house. Just in case you were wondering where it was, it's in my dad's house. There you go. I'll be at home.
It's like saying me and Scott.
You could come here.
We could, but it feel really awkward for me anyway. You're right, Paul. You're right. Anyway, back to social media.
I'd quite happily rock up without
You would?
James.
Yeah, of course you would.
I'm your mum's favourite son.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. She's got your birthday card with everyone on and everything.
She did.
She's going to be so upset if you turn up on the internet, mate.
Back to social media.
So, as ever, I'll do a quick shout out to our Saturday showcase. You guys have not sent us very much lately.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Send us your stuff.
Send us your pictures. We want to
of your
put them
islands.
out. They're really cool. I have to paint figures otherwise.
Take pictures of your cat. I want to see your cat.
We might
Don't
not
send us
put
pictures of your cat.
We might not put your cat on social media. We're sorry.
If the cat's standing next to Carl Frattens, then maybe.
If the cat's doing Warhammer stuff, we may make an exception.
A cat next to Kemrian War Sphinx, I'd like to see that. That'd be quite
Cat
fun.
with a howder
That
and a crew.
That cat's a Kemric Titan.
Cat with a howder and a crew, and you've got my attention.
We are not condoning animal cruelty. Do not force your cat into any scenario your cat does not want to be in.
Oh, people put cats in jumpers all the time. Anyway.
Yeah. So good times happening.
Should we get back on track somewhat?
Yeah. My dad's downstairs, so I want to finish up. Just one thing I will do a quick drop on with social media is some of you have noticed and commented that we have changed the deployment on our battle reports.
Yes.
To show you, rather than showing you us placing every unit on the table.
Which can be very tedious.
And generating every spell, we've decided to just show you the kind of where we finish and explain to you sort of how we got there and why.
Yep.
Now, a few of you have said to us actually you really liked the old way.
Mm-hmm.
And you liked seeing the kind of thought process. Sorry, we don't think. No, you like seeing the kind of process and the way that we do that. So we'd really appreciate if you're watching our videos, if you let us know which way you preferred.
Yeah.
Because if you do prefer, if a sizable chunk of the community does prefer the old way, we will return to the old ways.
The old world.
As you will. But we're trying to sort of streamline those videos and just keep them a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
So let us know. We would really appreciate that feedback. So on to Warhammer news. And I'll talk again. I'll do a quick Champions Destiny shout out. As ever, if you are in the UK and you have a Book of Face account or Facebook accounts to normal people, you can check out
Grandad.
the Champions of Destiny, 8th edition Warhammer players, isn't it? Group.
It's got UK in there somewhere.
It's got UK. I feel like it's got UK.
Champions Destiny UK 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy Players, I think it is.
There he is.
Let's go with that.
That's what he's here for.
When he's here.
Now that's sort of 400 or 500 people on it now. I think. It might be more than that.
There's a chunk of people on there.
You know, the group's a real hub of Warhammer activity, especially for the UK. But even if you're far flung and away from the UK, you'll still find lots of great support. Lots of guys talking about things, recommending where you can get things that you might be short of, or great suggestions for models and any number of other things. It's also a place where the vast majority of Warhammer events in the UK will be posted.
Yes.
So you will always kind of find the details of upcoming events and weekends and things like that on there. Lots of guys also use it to just casually meet up as well, don't they? And be like, oh, you know, should we get like half a dozen of us together on this place or whatever?
Yeah.
So very cool. And I'll give a quick shout out to Mark Pete, the guy that set that up. The whole team of admins are really amazing on there, but obviously big props to Mark for coming up with the concept in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll also do my usual boring, if you've done it, but if you haven't, why have you not signed up on the website for free? You've become a knight errant today for nothing, other than a small portion of your time and an email address. At some point you may start to receive mailing from us, maybe. I think we want a newsletter at some point, but that's time that we have to find. But yeah, it's free. Why would you not? And there's additional content you can get on our website, triplecrownwargaming.com, for free, just by signing up. For free.
Yeah.
Keep mentioning free.
For free.
For free.
All right now. Free song. So, events. Now, I don't think we might have missed these. I haven't run round heavy, but I don't think there's any events we haven't mentioned at the moment
Not
that have been announced.
that I remember seeing. No.
I've not seen any being announced recently, no.
No. And we will, as always, keep trying to check back, and when we see new events going up, we will pop them up.
Yeah.
Quick reminder, the guys at Cardiff Crusade still have tickets available at the time of this
Of recording.
And we still have reserve lists available for both the Triple Crown Wargaming Grand Tournament in May and the Derby Deathmatch Tournament.
Thanks. You can remember your own event.
That's the one.
In July, so we still have reserve lists running for them.
Yep.
And at the moment we haven't had any dropouts. Touch wood. But
Shares are wood.
they are wood. But if we do, you're going to want to get yourself on that list to see if you can get a place.
Yeah.
It's very cool. But we have got an event of our own that we're going to give you a little more information about. And that is the Sundering of Athel Loren.
I feel like there needs to be some like lightning or some sort of sound effect.
Looking at videographer.
Yeah.
Like
like a.
Yeah, cool. So, we know where we are. So this one is the narrative campaign event that we will be running, and we can officially announce the date of this now, on the 15th and 16th of October 2022. It will be at St Giles's Banqueting Hall in Colchester. Did I say that right?
You did.
Good. Scott's the...
I mean, it's St Giles, not St Giles's. But sure. And
So
it's banqueting and conference centre.
So you are
So
entirely
it's
wrong.
St Giles Banqueting and Conference Centre.
Or, as I'm going to say, the place the Triple Crown Wargaming Grand Tournament is being held.
That one.
It's a 2-day, and it will follow on directly from the story in the Light of Albion, which followed on directly from the story in the Scorching of Khemri. And this is the third and final part of the tale, as we see what Thalandor Olgu, as he is now known. Wind of Shadow. He's going to attempt to do in his nefarious plan. Now, the pack for this one will become available on our website on the 27th of May, 2022. And tickets will be available from the 4th of June for subscribers and the 5th of June for non-subscribers. As per kind of every other ticket release you guys would have seen us do this year.
And that's Knight of the Realm subscribers, not Knight Errant subscribers.
That's a very good point. So celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in style by getting your tickets to the Sundering of Athel Loren. That's it. 4-day bank holiday.
Don't get too drunk on the Thursday and the Friday. You've got to remember your tickets on the Saturday.
You
and the Sunday.
certainly do. And we will sort of, as we get closer to releasing the pack, we'll have a chat about the pack and we'll talk it all through.
We will.
We're really excited. It's still in the mashing it together phases, isn't it? But the ideas are becoming really kind of linear
more
now,
solid,
aren't they? Yeah,
yeah.
they're going where they need to go now. So
we start with a big sort of list of, it'd be cool to do this and do this and do this, and it's cutting that down into a sort of pack that works.
Yeah.
And we are certainly getting closer to that now.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. And I think that's going to be the news. I'm like budgets Trevor McDonald.
You wish you were Trevor McDonald.
Budget.
Don't bring his name down here.
We love you, Sir Trevor.
I'm saying Sir Trevor McDonald as well.
He is, and I'm sorry for that. So let's move on to the big discussion and Scott's latest Flights
This
of
is where I
Fantasy.
get to talk.
A lot.
Total War Warhammer 3.
Yes.
Came out a couple of weeks ago.
It was mid-ish February.
Yeah.
Sort of 11th, around 11th
I think
February.
it was just after we filmed the last one, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it wasn't long after. It was 11th or 18th, he's ringing about. It was sort of second-ish
Was it like
week
a
of February.
Thursday or something like that?
Total War always releases on a Thursday. I don't know why, it's just a thing they do. But
be
yes,
unique.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't actually get to play it for the first probably 10 days, 2 weeks after it came out. But then the second weekend after, I sort of had some time, so downloaded it the week before because it takes forever because it's a huge game. And then finally got to play it. Started with the Kislev campaign. So I was like, I want to, play some of the new races. You actually can't play any of the races from Warhammer 2 or 1 at the moment, and not in the game.
No.
You can only play the Demons, which is sort of undivided, and then the 4 Gods, Kislev Cathay, and Ogres if you pre-ordered the game.
Did you pre-order?
Of course I pre-ordered the
There
game.
you go.
I'm pretty disappointed in myself. I did not, and I didn't realise that I needed to do that to get ogres.
Yes.
Sad
face. Yes. So I started with Kislev with Tsarina Katerin, who is Tsar Boris's daughter. Started with her campaign, and it's quite interesting actually. A lot of the sort of mechanics the sort of basic mechanics are the same as Warhammer 2.
Yeah.
But the map is obviously very, very different.
This is Northworld this time round, isn't
Yes, and even the empire that you can sort of see and access on the map just looks very different. It's more sort of stretched out, which is quite cool. Lots of provinces have changed, you've got new settlements. Kislev has got these sort of large capitals of their areas.
Prague.
Prague, Kislev and Arengrad.
Yeah.
Which are, huge settlements. You can have lots of buildings and stuff in there. And then they've got other provinces which have got sort of 4 settlements in, but they're all small 3-building settlements, which is very different to Warhammer 2.
Yeah, massively so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of that was unintelligible to me, if that makes sense. You're like, buildings in them. I'm like, is that how it worked? We just took the settlements and then.
And did
You build stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a building
Of
chain.
course, the building in. Oh,
Yeah,
now I
yeah,
understand
yeah.
what you're saying.
And
The
you
building
build-
chains.
You
Yeah,
build
yeah, sorry.
you build your public order buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
now I'm
the
getting
sort of
it.
Kislev
Yeah.
and Prague and that, I think I've got
I never thought of them actually being in
9.
What?
I think they've got
9?
9 building slots, so they're big
Wow,
slots.
they really are.
But then the other provinces don't have like a capital, which normally has sort of 7, 5
Yeah.
to 7. They're all just the 4 slot ones.
Oh, okay.
So all of your sort of higher tier buildings need to be in.
So they're quite
Prague or anywhere.
centralised then.
Yeah,
the higher
they're
tier
really
buildings.
important.
I mean, it's not the was like stuff like the actual empire in that game too. It was the empire, whereas this is Kislev, which is just a region of the empire, isn't it?
Well, it's a
That's
region
why-
of the old world, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not part of the empire.
Kislev's separate to the
It's
empire.
separate.
It's
It's
an
separate.
ally, it's not
It's,
country.
yeah, it's a,
Yeah.
a separate country though.
So
yeah.
so that's why it'd be probably more centralised
Yes.
more than anything else. Like,
Yeah,
compared to the empire.
you also have a really interesting, unique mechanic with Kislev. Whichever one you play, you can play Tsarina Katerin or Kostaltin. who is
Boris
the-
came out all announced recently, didn't he?
So he's an unlockable lord.
Ah,
You have to-
okay.
But
Done, I
you
think.
can start with those 2, and they have like a supporter race mechanic. They basically have 2 differing ideas of how Kislev should be run in the absence of Boris, and you have like a supporter race, and you gain supporters in different ways. You have invocations, which are a bit like rights
Yeah.
for high elves and things in
Okay.
Warhammer 2, and you can sort of invoke them, and then it gives you supporters for doing different things. But whoever gets to certain stages of supporters first gets bonuses. And whoever gets to 600 first, if the player gets to 600 first before the AI in the other faction, you get to confederate that other faction for free.
Oh,
It
okay,
just
that's
happened.
quite nice.
But it's very, very, very hard to confederate before that, just with diplomacy.
Yeah, okay.
You also have devotion, which is another sort of mechanic for Kislev. which is you get for sort of winning battles. You lose if you fight other Kislev factions, so you lose devotion.
So you can't just brutally
You don't
submit
wipe them out, which is difficult because you do start a war with a Kislev faction, with at least one with Katerina. I don't know, with Catherine, sorry. I don't know if you do with the Great Orthodoxy. I've not tried them yet with Kostaltin. But so you've got to sort of, you either go, right, I'll try and placate them and give them money to stop fighting, or you just accept the lack of devotion.
Just
but
slaughter them to the man.
If you get too low, you have Chaos Army spawn in your territory.
Oh, right.
So it's a real sort of negative to have too little devotion.
Boil them up too as well. They want to mix it.
Which you can do. The roster, though, for Kislev is all sort of hybrid units, which is really different from Warhammer 2. So they're all sort of missile and something. Missile and axe, missile and great axe is another one, pistol and sword. They're all sort of that type of hybrid unit, which can be really difficult to get your head around how to make the most out of them. Because you're like, oh, they're a missile unit, I want to keep them back and shooting, but then you don't have any like frontline troops. So it's difficult to sort of get your head around.
It's quite interesting, that, isn't it? I suppose it's a bit like we talk about units like Sea Guard in fantasy battles on the tabletop.
Because I mean, they're actually a hybrid unit themselves in the game, too, in 1 and 2. I mean,
Yes, I think they are. But because High Elves have got like dedicated frontline infantry units, generally the Sea Guard will be the missile units that then, if you know they've used all their ammo, or if your front line's falling, you can go, right, I'll switch them to spears and I'll counter-charge. Whereas Kislev, they do have that. They do have Tsar Guard, they have Ice Guard, they have Armoured Cossars, I think. They might be hybrid as well, to be fair. But they do have those dedicated units, but they're generally higher tier, so you don't start with any of them. So it is difficult in those first sort of few turns.
And that's what I was going to say, that's difficult on the tabletop as well to master, isn't it? We talk about, do you treat them as spearmen with a stand and shoot reaction? Do you treat them as archers that with you want to sort of, you know, have an extra rank fighting in? It's just tricky. So I can imagine that translates the same in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something I think that's quite good about Total War Warhammer in general, is that, you know, generally units play
how they should
play. You know.
Generally.
Which I think is really cool.
The one bit of that, Ross, everyone's looking to hear about though is bears.
Bears. So the I've not got an elemental bear. I can't even remember which building you get elemental bears from. But
the
bear cavalry, yes, the bear cavalry is very good.
If it's not a build an elemental bear workshop, I'm not interested.
It's got the winged Tatars and everything like that.
Yeah, so cavalry's a bit of a weird place at the moment. So they have they knock sort of infantry and smaller units down, but then because they were doing too much damage on the charge, units that have been knocked down have a sort of period of time of invulnerability.
The invisibility frames and all that.
Yeah, so basically they can't be hurt while they're on the ground. But if you have too many cavalry, or they're too sort of their mass is too much, it's all done on unit mass, you can throw them too far and then you don't actually get any damage. So they're not bad for sort of disrupting lines and sort of cycle the charge to just disrupt lines, but they don't actually really do a lot of damage.
It's like a cavalry in real life, then, in essence.
Yes, but you'd expect them to do damage
when you're on the floor and you're stepping on your face.
You'd expect to do damage on the charge, and they don't even do the damage on the charge because they're all invulnerable. So I
feels like something they need to patch.
Yeah, and I feel like it will be something they patch. It's just something they've not done yet. They did bring out a patch last week or the week before, so a couple of weeks after release, just to help with optimizations, and I've got to say it massively helped. So I bought a new laptop actually to make sure I could play Total War, and it was not, you know, top of the line, but it was good graphics and processor and everything inside it, and it was really jumpy. The frame rate was pretty rubbish for sort of all of the kit that I had inside the laptop, but this patch that they brought out massively helped, and it is much better now. I can play it on ultra settings, and it's fine.
Sad times.
So what's the mission this time beyond sort of confederating the Kislev?
Yeah, so the campaign for all of the factions because it's effectively, if you played Warhammer 2, it's like the Vortex campaign. It's that sort of campaign. You now have to collect a soul from each of the realms of chaos. You then combine those souls in the Tome of Fates, which is what the advisor guy, that's the book he has on him. And then so that's the book he's had for all 3 games. And you combine those souls, and it leads you to the path to the Forge of Souls, which is where Be'lakor is, and he has trapped Ursun, the bear god of Kislev. And depending on which faction you're playing, you're either playing to save Ursun, or you're playing to kill him and take his power and sort of banish Be'lakor.
Not the bear! Not the bear!
Not like this.
Yes, and the advisor does all this, and he does all for whichever faction he's helping. He does all this for just a single drop of Ursun's god blood, because obviously it's such a divine thing. This god blood, such a rarity as well. It's really powerful. And
I feel like his intentions are not 100% genuine.
so he's currently bound to the Tome of Fates. That's the idea. Is the Tome of Fates is this incredibly powerful book, and it's got all this knowledge inside it. But the person who uses it is bound to it, and they can't use that knowledge for themselves because they are bound to this book. It was a spell, I think Zinch put on the book.
Classic Zinch.
Classic Zinch.
Just as planned.
But the drop of god blood will break the curse, effectively. So the advisor will be able to use the book for himself. That's why he wants...
so then the witch hunter needs to rock up and be like...
Oh, come on! Leave the witch hunters at home!
But yeah, it's the same advisor that's in all of the games, but so there's some different theories that people have had about him, because he seems to age the wrong way. So you see he is the youngest in Warhammer 3, and he's the oldest in Warhammer 1. So there are a couple of theories. The most, I don't know if it's been confirmed by CA, Creative Assembly, the people who make Total War, but the sort of most compelling theory that's gathered the most sort of support online is that the games are in reverse order. So 3 happens first, then 2, then 1.
Oh, okay, that's quite cool.
I think that will that will be confirmed or not, basically, when the Immortal Empires, or the Warhammer 3 version of Mortal Empires comes out.
I think they have announced it is going to be Immortal Empires. Yeah.
If the Vortex is on Ulthuan, then it possibly could be. It possibly could not be that. Yeah.
No, it would be backwards, wouldn't it? Because if it's the Immortal Empires, if this game's set first, the Vortex would still be there, wouldn't it? Because it's not destroyed.
No, because the. I suppose if Warhammer 2, it's not them creating the Vortex, is it?
No, it's them trying to disrupt it.
Yeah, I suppose so. So
it's very little use to us.
Yeah, it's very little use. Hopefully they come out and say. The other theory is that actually it's the book, the magic from the book itself that is sort of doing the Benjamin Button effect.
Yeah,
and aging him backwards. Yeah. There's lots of theories of who this guy is. There's theories that he is a light wizard from the College of Light of the Empire.
Makes sense.
There's loads of different theories.
I hope it would be from the College of Death.
I hope he's Van Horseman then. That'd be cool.
I mean,
very cool.
Yeah, it's been confirmed that it's not him.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
But yeah, essentially every roughly 30 turns, Ursun roars a sort of pain of sort of being captured, because he was actually shot with a cursed bullet. That's how he ended up being captured.
Oh, that is a cheap shot.
Yeah, and it was a Kislev prince who went to save him, but was corrupted by the Chaos Gods, and he actually shot him with a cursed bullet. Bad times to be Ursun.
Not my boy.
Your boy Ursun. But yeah, so he roars every 30-ish turns, and then these portals open, which spread massive chaos corruption of different gods. There's a random chance for which god they'll be. And then that's how you get into the realms of chaos. So you go in with your faction leader. It has to be your faction leader.
Zarina.
It has to be Zarina, for instance, yes. And then you go into... You can either close the rift. Now, if you do that with an army, then you fight a battle. It's not that difficult. If you do, you can close it with a hero, and it costs 1,500 gold. But
it's a good return.
You can also traverse the rift, so you can go from one rift to another in the sort of mortal world, if you want to jump over massive parts of the map. Or you can go into one of the realms of the gods. And then in those realms you do different things. In Khorne's, for instance, you have to get a certain amount of bloodshed, I think it is. You have to get like 300,000 bloodshed, which is done through fighting battles of other armies that are in there. And then once you do, you open the path to his Blood Citadel, which is like the sort of quest battle, effectively, for the realm of Khorne. Sinesh has got a similar one. You jump through different circles, and it tempts you with some really powerful stuff to then get pushed out of the realm of chaos. So one of them is the Sword of Sinesh, or the Blade of Sinesh. It's like insane armor piercing. It's like plus 500 armor piercing damage, which is a lot for Total War, for those who haven't played it. You've got the Personal Sycophant, I think, which is an ancillary, which is what did they used to be called in Warhammer 2?
Advisors.
Was it advisors?
I think so.
You get like 6 things that you can attach to your lords or heroes.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The Personal Sycophant's one of them, so it doubles the experience for the hero or lord it's attached to. Gives you massive control and growth and all these sort of things. It's really good. But then if you take it, you're ejected from the Slanesh realm, and you gain a permanent negative chaos trait, which is I think it's a bit of Slanesh corruption. It's not huge, so it's not the end of the world. But obviously slows you down in the race, and all of the races are fighting for these 4 souls, and it's whoever gets there first gets to go into the Forge of Souls to fight Be'lakor. I've not got to that point yet, because I have left my Kislev campaign where it is, and I moved over to Cathay. And I started as Miao Ying, who is the Storm Dragon. It's her and her brother, who the Iron Dragon, I can't remember his name, but it's Storm Dragon and the Iron Dragon. She starts off near the Great Bastion, which is the big old Great Wall of China, essentially, is what it is. To stop the demons getting into Cathay, and the Iron Dragon, her brother, starts more south towards the sort of mountains of Morn, that sort of area.
The old areas are. He's actually got the Great Moors in the map as well. You can
Yes,
go visit the Great Moors.
that's near Cathay. Actually, it's very near to where the Iron Dragon starts, and it's cool. You get all these little like info points around the map. That if it's like a sort of really important place like the Great Moor, like where Boris is frozen in Kislev. Helfen is another one. It gives you a little sort of little info things. You can hover over it and it gives you a bit of a description of what it is.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and the closest settlement also has like a landmark building that's attached to that.
Okay.
So that's very cool.
It really brings it to life, doesn't it? Like it really brings what you're doing on the
So
table and in the books to life.
I've seen a picture of the Great Moor. It just looks like a giant sarlacc pit from Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. It's just a big sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
Other pits are available from
Hell pit's available.
other
Hell pit
franchises.
is available, yeah.
Other pits from other franchises.
Yeah, lots of nightmare to deal with. But yeah, one thing I was actually really interested in playing Cathay, because I think we all expect Cathay to be a race in the old world.
Well, they have confirmed, Games Workshop have confirmed that they will be a model range, a playable tabletop race in the old world.
Oh,
they confirmed it when when Total War was released, Total War 3. They put out like a map the day after, which I know a lot of people were super stoked for another map.
Another map.
But I actually was sort of expecting it, so I was like, I expected it to be another map.
Who guessed it.
Nice guy, Nick Gorn. Put on. I really hope it's another map on the official page, and it was, which is genius.
Absolute hero.
Love you, Nick. But I was sort of thinking it would probably be like drawn stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would
be
sort
like
of something
pictures of models
physical.
or-
I think people were expecting models, and I think they probably.
I think people were expecting a release date.
Yeah, and I think those things were probably just the internet, as we all know, is this beautiful way of like spawning those sort of ideas. That's what you're going to get. But
The internet's a trash house sometimes.
the first line of that sort of article with the map on it was, along the lines specifically of, they will have
all of these
playable
races
models,
will be,
basically.
That's really interesting, because as
I'll try and copy the exact quote into the description.
Yeah. As Cathay, as the Storm Dragon and the Iron Dragon, they are basically demigods. They're the children of the gods of Cathay. But they can transform, or they are dragons, and then they can take a human form. But you can transform like mid-battle from human to dragon and back again, which I think is going to be really interesting on the tabletop. If you can have, like, if they're special characters, if you can be the Storm Dragon, Miao Ying, are they, that's going to be a really interesting mechanic of how you transform from human to dragon.
Is it a Savage Beast? Is it a transformation of Kadon type affair, I guess?
Yeah. But I think that's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, there might not be playable characters, because they might feel they're too powerful. They are literally demigods.
Yeah.
But so there's like a lot of chaos characters as well.
It's sort of Malekith in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. So hopefully they are, because I think it'll be very cool. And I think what I like about Total War, especially Warhammer 3, it's given us an insight into what the laws of magic are going to look like for these factions, which I think is huge. So Kislev have got 2 specific ones. They have Ice and Tempest, which are I think it's Tempest is the sort of buffy, hexy, augmenty type one.
Yeah.
And Ice is the more direct damage, vortex, that sort of one.
Feeling.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, not all of the spells in Total War, in sort of Warhammer 1 and 2, have the same sort of effect as they do in the game.
No.
So it's not always like, oh, this buffs my unit, which means it's a buff spell in the game. That's not necessarily the case, but generally that's what the laws feel like in Warhammer 3. Yeah. Talent, Heart of Winter is a particular favourite for Kislev. It does insane damage in the game. And no friendly fire, which is very nice. And then equally, Cathay have the law of Yin and the law of Yang. So their sort of mechanic, rather than devotion and supporters like Kislev, you have to balance the harmony. So each lord gives you +3 of a certain Yin or Yang. Each green building. I can't remember what that tree is called. I think it's industry. Each industry building, they have two types. They have a yin version and a yang version, which is the same. It's just one gives you one harmony of one and one of the other. Heroes give you one of the other. Some like defences give you one or the other, and units in battle have a type as well, although they don't affect your overall harmony. So if you balance them, you get nice bonuses like plus to income and growth and control and things like that. If you're out, you get pluses to, say if you've got too much yang, you get pluses to yang units and buildings, but negatives to yin. So generally it's good to sort of balance them.
To keep them balanced.
And it's actually not that difficult, because your technology does it as well. So what you research adds 1 or 3 sometimes. So it's quite easy to balance across turns. But in battle, which I think is what will play over more into the old world game, melee units are yin, I think, and ranged units are yang, or it's the other way around. But they're generally all like, all the melee units are one type, all the missile units are the other. And if they're close enough, they get bonuses.
Oh wow, so that could be something really interesting on the tabletop, because you're being... That's something in Warhammer we talk a lot about. Combined arms armies are not as common, and in fact some laws of magic are not even seen that regularly, because where they're really at their best is in a combined arms setting. So it'd be very interesting to see if there's something there that's still, saying to you, you really should.
I really hope they do, because I think it'll really help. And I think in the game it gives you melee defense on your melee troops, range possibly, or reload skill. So you reload, you'll shoot a bit quicker on your missile units, and leadership for everyone. But I think you could really easily sort of port that over into the tabletop game.
Comfortably.
Which is very cool. They've also got some really cool units. They've got the Sky Junk, which is like the best way I can describe it is a Hellstorm rocket battery on a hot air balloon. Yeah, which is awesome. It's a lot of fun. But it's sort of touching back on the laws of magic, because I got distracted.
Sorry.
It also has hopefully showed us what of the 8 laws of magic they will have access to. So Kislev have got heavens.
Makes sense.
And I think that's the only one they've got.
Interesting. They didn't go with light then, because I could have kind of seen with them like being at constant like war with chaos that mastering the law of light.
Do you know what? I think I've made that up. I don't think they do have any of the 8 laws of magic.
Okay,
I think they've just got ice and tempest.
That'd be really interesting, because currently kind of most of the races have access to one. At least one of the battle magic laws. I think it's only Skaven and Orcs and Goblins that don't.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It is worth saying, there are almost certainly going to be DLCs for these races.
Yeah, of course.
So that can always bring in a hero with access to a different magic or a lord. So, but at the moment at least, I'm pretty sure Kislev only have ice and tempest. Cathay have heavens and have fire.
I think they have metal as well.
Yes, they do.
My brother's playing a Cathay.
So they have Astromancers, which have heavens, and they have
Pyromancers.
No, alchemists. That's what they're called.
Which would have metal.
Metal, and they can imbue their troops with fire damage as well. So they don't have specific access to the law of fire yet, but I can very much see it with that alchemist having the option for fire as well. And I think that'll probably come in a DLC if it's coming at all at some point. But yeah, very, very cool campaigns, very different campaigns and mechanics, I think, across at least Kislev and Cathay, the 2 I've played. Which is nice. It gives you a bit sort of freshness over the game, so it's not like stale once you've completed a campaign. For me at least, there's a lot of people online that aren't happy with how the game is at the moment, which I
think people like to complain, don't they?
I think they're really waiting for Immortal Empires is what they want. A lot of people are saying, I'd love a way to turn off the portal mechanic, which is essentially just waiting for more Immortal Empires, which is fair enough. A lot of people just played Warhammer 2 for that, and I completely get that. I really enjoyed the Immortal Empires campaign.
I've seen people sort of complaining a lot about the races that are playable as well, and I think again, like there's 8. I think that's a really good start. Yeah. There's 8 options, and I think people are just waiting for their favourite to an extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Chaos Stores have been announced already at this point, I think they have.
I don't know if they've been confirmed. There's certainly a lot of assumption that they're going to be in the game. Zana Grande is on the map.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
The outpost mechanic, actually, that was another big one, which I'll touch on quickly, if you're a defensive or military ally with another faction, you can build an outpost in their settlements and they can build an outpost in your settlements. It has to be a provincial capital. The settlement that outpost is in then gets a couple of units from that faction added to its garrison, and you can recruit units available to that other faction into your faction through that outpost. It's more expensive, however they instantly recruit, a bit like Regiments of Renown. And if you lose that alliance, so if they are destroyed or if they cancel the alliance for whatever reason, you instantly lose those units that you had recruited. Okay. So you can lose them, they're not guaranteed, but it's good to get a bit of sort of variety. Like I've got some dwarves in my Kislev army.
That's cool. I like that because that's a strong thing in the actual fluff of the game. I mean, I'm doing this Hochland Empire army, and Hochland has a dwarvish, Hergig, the city has like a dwarvish quarter where dwarves do live, and Lothern has humans that are sort of living in there on Orthwan that are traders and stuff. So I think that's an ally mechanic is something I think we'd all like to see done well.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think it's always been something that people like the idea of, but in the past, it's probably been done poorly.
Yeah,
it's fair to say. I think that the End Times army lists, there's so much potential to make them really cool and fun, but there's so much potential to break them
broken.
That in the end, that's what the sort of overriding thing of people in the player base was.
Yeah, they were all just broken, to be honest.
Most of them, yeah.
So exciting times. I'm going to try and play it too, and we'll see if we can bring it up again when I've sort of looked at it.
I'm going to have to buy a laptop.
Yeah, we'll all do it. We'll all get involved.
My current laptop just about managed to make videos these days.
Mine will play it, but I just got to actually get it and install it and have time, which is not really happening. And so we will move on to the final section of this video. Max is having a good stretch because he needs a break. All the chairs are creaking. Since the chairs, not my back, promise. So what can you expect in the coming month on triplecrownwargaming.com? Make sure you head over to that website. Plug. Or on YouTube for some of these videos. But
just head over to the website anyway.
But go to the website anyway.
Sign up to Knight Errant, you get the videos on there too.
You get more. First up, with a Mighty Bellow, the Ogre Kingdoms will be returning to the War Council. They'll be charging in to take on the Wood Elves of Athel Loren.
And I'll get to use my ogres.
I know. And great. I'll get to use my Wood Elves.
Yeah.
I won't have to be in a battle report again.
Yeah, well, you might be. You might have to be in a battle report.
Maybe. I won't have to play Wood Elves again, though. Hopefully.
No.
Hopefully I won't have to play Wood Elves again.
Because this month, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see the inaugural episode of our brand new series, Take the Crown.
It's too small to fit on any of our heads.
Yeah, it is. It's very small.
Really, look. It's on his head, isn't it?
Hurts.
It's the only time he's going to get it.
Hurts.
Savage.
The odds are stacked against us, okay?
So, where a guest contender comes down to the Triple Crown Wargaming studio to take one of us on. Now, they will pick which one of us they want to tackle. They will also pick the army that we use, the army that they use, the mission that we're both going to play, the comp score and points value, and other things might be selected by them too. They can impose any restriction realistically they want, beyond it being sort of two equally sized.
Yes.
That's the only restriction. The only restriction we're ruling out is I can't start with 1,000 points to you, having 3,000.
Tell you what, you start with 1,000 points, I'll just take the gash.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just summon a 3,000 point army.
No end times. That's their second restriction. So this is going to be a real fun challenge for us, I think. I'm not confident that we're going to win the games. But now this month is going to see the winner of the Best Painted Army at our Light of Albion campaign weekend heading into the studio. That's Andy Aitchison. So we're really excited about him joining us, and he's going to be bringing his very beautiful Warriors of Chaos army.
Yeah, which was the army that won.
Which he won it with, yeah. So we cannot wait to get them on the channel. But you'll have to check out the episode to see which one of us he's fighting and which factions are going to be used. And
we don't even know.
That's going to be the theme in general with this. Even if we do know, we're not going to tell you. You've got to check it out to find out. So moving on from that, Buying for Beginners will feature one of the strongest and smelliest armies in the game as we take a look at building a Demons of Nurgle army.
I feel like that one's going to fall on me.
Probably. And with Demons we are going to do...
one for each of the gods.
One for each of the gods,
So we'll do building a Demons of Nurgle, building Demons of Slanesh, each corner.
We'll leave the corner James.
Yeah,
it just makes more sense to do it that way.
Yeah, you absolutely can build a mixed list, but if we're going super competitive and we only did one building a Demons army, it would be Demons of Nurgle with a Skull Cannon.
So we're going to do some more than that with it. So this month's Warzone, as we've talked about it already, is the culmination of Manfred von Carstein's reign of terror throughout the old world. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to relive the Battle of Helfen, as you mentioned it in the Total War thing
section
as well. There, I just was like, oh yeah, Helfen, that's cool. Our Hero of Legend tale is a devastating affair as we discuss the rampage of none other than Gorbad Ironclaw. I know you're looking forward to that, Max.
I own him as well. I do.
Shocker. Max has bought a model.
It's part of my 7,000 points I own of Orcs and Goblins.
The penultimate video in our 20-0 Tactics Battle Magic series is a shady affair. And we'll be focusing on the Grey Wizards of the Law of Shadow. I'm really, really excited, honestly.
You can
to do all of the armies that can take
I just don't even want to think about next month. I'm still
there
dealing
are
with
lots of armies
with the trauma of Law of Shadow. There's going to be a lot of armies for Law of Shadow.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And the one after.
Who's after?
Death.
Yeah.
So on to the competitive character series, and we'll be taking our vows and fighting for the lady.
Sounds like it's another one for me.
As Scott brings us. Scott brings us a ride with the Bretonian Lord. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one, Scott. Seeing what you come up with.
Please say you do a dismounted version of Virtue of Empathy.
No.
Please.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the first double-mounted affair, isn't it?
I would imagine it'll be the first double-mounted affair.
No, Virtue of Empathy.
No.
Go for it. 5 points.
This month's Magic and Mundane features a flurry of special rules as we take a look at 4 magic weapons which give you just that, a special rule. So I know I'm looking at Max, so I might try and bully him into doing that one.
I always end up doing the Magic and Mundane.
Yeah, we've sort of got our little jobs now, haven't we, in general? And finally, treasures beyond compare will await all of you and us as we delve into the Pyramids of Khemri, and I will take us through the Tomb King's deep dive. That is a lot to work on.
It'd be one of the smaller deep dives I've done recently.
Yeah, it will, yeah.
The recent ones for sure.
After Dwarves and Orcs and Goblins.
Oh, Dwarves, what a video.
You weren't even here.
Oh, I did.
And that's it. Thank you for joining us in the studio and sticking with us as we talked about all sorts of weird and wonderfuls today. Make sure you head over to triplecrownwargaming.com.
Me apparently.
It's over that way.
Point it to me.
That way now. It's up that way, over that way, the lot.
I am the website.
You are the website. To sign up for free if you've not, or to grab yourself your subscription. Why not? Treat yourself. And make sure you do stick a like or subscribe and all of that lovely stuff that I'll tell you to do in a dreadful Northern English accent very shortly. We've got to replace that soon. And please do make sure that you give us that feedback on the deployment elements in our videos at the moment. Otherwise, we'll see you in 4 weeks' time for another month in Warhammer.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Remember to tag your friends and like, subscribe and share. Then head over to triplecrownwargaming.com and become a knight of the realm today.
What are you doing, mate?
You alright?